Just to make sure you can hear me well, Phil?
Loud and clear.
Okay, and you can see my video. Yes.
I see the splash screen for the meeting. The everything you need to know splash.
Okay, and my video is on. My voice is good, and the screen is good. All right. So let's get started. All right. So good morning. Welcome everyone for our second Magma 5G Everything You Need to Know community meeting. My name is Kader Khan from Wave Labs. Joining me is Phil Ritter from Facebook and Magma Core Foundation.
Yeah, good morning, everyone.
Thanks, Phil. Okay, moving my slide here. So let's start with a quick refresher why we are having this meeting. We all know that 5G is a great opportunity for all of us, but from the Magma community point of view, after Magma Core Foundation is established early this year, we are seeing rise in interest and adoption of using Magma 5G for both community projects as well as commercial projects. So we thought, and we in community felt the need for this meeting to set up platform for success that will enable engagement, collaboration, and adoption of Magma for 5G with three key objectives. And the first objective is to provide monthly updates on the 5G development activities that's ongoing within the community to the community members. And the second key objective is to learn from various community and commercial projects and align ourselves so we can do our third objective, which is help each other to make the adoption of Magma for 5G successful. And not only that, meaning not only helping community and commercial projects, but we also wanted to help individuals to learn and support and help us advance the adoption of Magma for 5G. There's been a little bit background noise. I would kindly request those who are not speaking to mute the, please, thank you. So those are our three key objectives. Just to set the stage, in our previous meeting, we covered in greater detail the development and support related updates. That is the item number 1 here, that objective number 1 and objective number 3. So what we thought, myself and Phil, is to focus on objective number 2 today, that is learning from community and commercial projects. So based on that, keeping that agenda in mind, myself and Phil planned for our agenda today. And we will start with Ullas and team quickly presenting a very short Delta update to what we covered in our last monthly meeting with respect to the development and support update. Followed by, we will have Bhavin from DishNet Africa, an ISP as well as a network operator in South Sudan, will help us to understand the insights of his journey with Magma, and he calls it as begin with end in mind. After that, we will also have Samir from Rebecca helping us how he is contributing to the community from the point of view of development, deployment, and operation of high quality, high performance Magma Core. And then finally, we will close the session with Q&A. Okay. From Wave Labs' point of view, I'm really, really thrilled and fortunate in helping them and the community with 5G strategy from development to deployment and system integration. So with that, let's kick off the session today. Ullas, floor to you.
Thank you, Kader. Hi, everyone. So yeah, I will be spending my time just on this one slide, and I am sure that I have to leave early today due to a prior engagement. As you may already know, I mean, our initial scope for the 5G was fixed wireless access, and many of the call procedures like registration, deregistration, service establishment, termination, idle mode support, paging, and basic authentication support. These are the initial set of features we have been targeting. From the last meeting, I guess the biggest news is we basically browsed from a real 5G UE for the first time in the lab since then. We moved fully to the main branch. For tactical purposes, we had to create a 5G branch to accelerate basically the code development, but now that code is fully merged to the main branch. So anyone who wants to experiment with Magma 5G, if they are on the main branch, they can just pull in the code and see what is going in there. And any new PRs are raised against the main branch. So Magma 5G is completely deprecated. And to avoid confusion, after some grace period, we will basically remove that branch completely. Team has been working really hard to land the bug fixes and improving stability. Just to give some background, we are using 4 different simulators in the development team. Plus, we are using a real lab environment. But even with all this coverage, still some tools basically do not catch everything. And as we go along, we are detecting some issues that are reported by different partners, different ecosystem players who are testing and playing with the code. So we are, as we go along, we are also patching those bug fixes and also working on the stability so that we can hit hundreds of UEs per access gateway instance with a minimal configuration with no issues. As our next steps, cloud-based configurations and policies, as well as the stats and metrics collection in the control plane and user plane is what we are going to look into. And that's all I want to cover, I guess, for the meeting.
Thank you, Ullas. And if anyone has any question regarding what Ullas presented, please feel free to share it in the chat. We will address them towards the end. Of course, Ullas is not going to be there, so we'll make sure that we take that question back to Ullas and we'll respond it to you all by email. In this presentation, you'll also see the previous meeting YouTube link, and this is our previous meeting YouTube link, where we extensively covered most of the updates with respect to the development, and also we had a 5G demo. So if you're interested, you can always go and view that link, and we'll make sure this presentation and this link is shared with you after this session and also in the chat. So Phil and Kendall, I'm just seeing that 3 people entered the waiting room in my other screen. I just want to make sure I'll let you all know.
Yep, thank you. They should be joining. I think there might be an error with Zoom right now. Sure,
thank you. A quick support update. We announced in our last meeting, we started a dedicated 5G support channel. We started with 1 member, and today we have, from then to now, we have 32 active members supporting and helping each other. We also announced in our previous meeting, there is a free Magma orchestrator that is deployed and available in AWS for the community to connect their A gateways. Like Ullas mentioned, download, build the 5G code and test it, in their labs. So we, from last meeting to now, we have a couple of companies in the community have been using the orchestrator and experimenting whatever that they are trying to do. I sincerely encourage and request every one of you to join this channel, as well as take advantage of this orchestrator that is available in the AWS to your own needs and benefits. So those are the quick updates with respect to the development as well as the support. The support from the point of view of Magma 5G is led by the community members, Parthiban as well as Shubham. So they'll be happy to help you if you need any help with these requests, right, with respect to any support requests. Moving on, well, time to invite Mr. Bobin Madlani, founder and managing director of DishNet Africa Limited. Like I mentioned, an ISP as well as a network operator in South Sudan. He's going to help us to understand what does he really mean by begin with the end in mind, and the journey that he has been through, and how Magma has really helped him to achieve his business outcome. With that, I would like to hand over the floor to Bhavin. Bhavin, can you hear us?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Kader, for introducing me, and thank you, community, for allowing me to showcase the solution we managed to build, and we are running on our network right now. Can you go ahead with another slide? So let me give some brief idea.
Can you come closer to the mic and speak loud? Your voice is a little bit low.
Okay, are you getting clear now? Clear now?
Yeah, good. Voice is clear, but it was a little bit low. Now I think we are good. Please move on.
Okay. So let me just give some brief idea about the DishNet Africa. DishNet Africa is an award-winning internet service provider and network operator based in South Sudan. We are engaged in internet business, ISP business, from last 8 years in South Sudan. So within our journey, we are currently providing internet services using different mediums, as mentioned on the screen, using fiber, satellite, structured cabling, managed Wi-Fi, business, wireless broadband. So within this journey, we developed one business case with the UN mission in South Sudan. Like if you having an idea about Africa, there are UN missions in different countries available, and they are the big in numbers. And the challenges in Africa we have is the ARPU is low, and connectivity is also not stable. So can we have another slide? Yes, so this is our legacy network architecture, that how currently we are managing our hotspot customers. So this setup, we did it in UN camps from last 5 years. Like let's say we started this project in 2015, and we was using a similar setup still in some of the camps, but slowly we are moving from this network, hotspot network, to a private LTE kind of the network. Within this journey, we have utilized the Magma Core. Can we have next slide? Yeah, within this journey, we are using the Magma Core for these avoid these challenges. You know, with Wi-Fi hosters, if you are running more than 5,000 customers, you will realize that there are some challenges to maintain the network. Centrally, when you have a reset as a network, maybe with fiber network is somehow easy to manage and get the track managing centrally. But reset is a very challenging because of the kind of the connectivity issue. So these are some of the challenges we was facing in our current network, like too many devices, including repeaters, coverage, security, mobility, high cost, and lower margins. And this makes us like we have to be innovative and go with some innovative solutions. So we have did research and learned that with Magma, we can build a network which can be a cost effective and which can be like expanded horizontally, vertically, and it can be done in many ways. Like in the beginning, like as mentioned, begin with the end in mind. So our idea was to build a network that even multiple competitors can utilize our network as a service. They can utilize our fixed wireless access network. They can utilize different business cases. For example, the mobile broadband services, private wireless use cases. So this is how we have started deploying, started using the Magma in our network. So we started with 4G now, but in a mind that we will build a network which will eventually upgrade into the 5G. And the idea was to go with the Magma is because Magma can be a vendor neutral product, and we can include multiple hardware vendors, multiple different services providers, and then we can build a network which can be a network for people. Can we have another slide, please? So this is how we started. Like currently we are deploying the 10 reset site and having an idea to cover around 25 reset guides gateway. So the network currently we are building is for the 20,000 individuals to get an access for the internet via the LTE network and using the Magma as a core network. So what we do, how we manage the reset network. So managing a reset network, we utilize the domain domain tools like the iDirect we are using as our domain tool to manage the vSet sites centrally. Next slide, please.
Sure. Bhavin, can you come a little bit closer to the mic? Just want to make sure the voice is a little bit clearer.
Okay, sorry. So this is the journey we started. Like the idea was to start with the lab. So we started first doing the testing in a lab for, let's say, last year when the code was in the initial stage. And then we realized we need to develop a network in a way that it can accommodate the data applications like 1 GB, 5 GB, 2 GB, because in Africa it's difficult to get unlimited internet bandwidth. So what we did, we did in a way that we connect the vSet as our internet access. Then vSet is connected to the Magma access gateway on the edge, and then we utilize the different functionalities of the access gateway, MME, S gateway, T gateway, and other applications on edge. Then after this, we realized that there are some challenges with Magma currently, that currently with Magma only network, it supports only the unlimited kind of the bandwidth, not the data kind of plan. So we have did a research and learned that there is one open source code available in the market.
Sorry, Bhavin, just there is some background noise.
Just a minute.
Sure.
Sorry for interruption. The kids, because it's here in the evening time, so kids are saying,
Sure.
"What are you doing?"
Please go ahead.
So what we did, currently we deployed around 7 access gateway on our different sites, and we have approximately planning to deploy around 45 access gateway, 45G access gateway on the different locations, like different camps. We can say it is called 8 sites. So what we did, we learned that Magma has not the limitations, but the current challenge with the Magma only network is to provide the data, like a mobile data kind of the business plan, like 1 GB, 2 GB, 3 GB. So we have learned that there is one open source project available on the GitHub. It's called 6K, which has the functionality of HSS, OCS, and PCRF. So we integrate 6K with Magma using the Federation Gateway and different sectors like HSS, OCS, and PCRF. This way we managed to build a system where we can provide a different kind of the data packages to the users. And the concept is simple. We build one test site and then we repeat it for the number of sites. Like currently we are in a one site. Normally we deploy currently for the 3 to 4 kilometer coverage. We are using three eNodeBs and 1 access gateway. By keeping in mind to cover the area, once we have the enough hours, then we will go on the focusing on the capacity of the users. Next slide, please. So this way we are developing different camps in the South Sudan. And within developing this, like let's say how we can manage these 3 different access gateways, how we can connect them and we can monitor them. So we normally use a different point-to-point equipments which can connect with different sites using, and then we use their tools to monitor it remotely. And next slide, please. Yeah, so this is how we are doing right now. This is an end-to-end, like let's say this is a radio access network, like how users get connected. First is vSet. Second step is to having an edge access gateway. Edge access gateway communicate to the orchestrator. Orchestrator will communicate to FE gateway. FE gateway will communicate to our OCS, PCRF, and HSS system. And this is how we will bring online the users. Next slide, please. Then we use the different transport equipment. Let's say some of the locations we use the point-to-point devices, some of the locations we use point-to-multipoint, some of the locations we are using the, like let's say if site is only having one E node B, we use the cable, Ethernet cable to connect the E node B. And the beauty about the Magma, we are doing a testing with the different vendor equipments that to make it in a way that it remains cost effective. Next slide, please. So this is a sample that how this is the one of the domain tools we are using to monitor the to visualize how the site will look like. The site will look like in this way. Internet will go to the Magma access gateway. Then this Magma access gateway will go to the switch. And from switch we connect either multiple nodes or we connect the point-to-point devices and connect the access gateway if it is the internet is far from the access. And then we use the domain tool to visualize what is the location of the tower, what is the location of the E node B. This way we maintain the data using the different tools. Next slide, please. So this is a complete end-to-end. Now I'm going to talk about how to manage about the SIM card management. Right. So for SIM card management, we have using first we was using the Magma HSS system to configure the SIM card and other things. Then after we connected with the OCS, and now it used the OCS, let's say the 6-scale OCS HSS to configure the SIM card and other data. Currently, next slide please. We are using the different tools to let's say configure the SIM cards. The scripts are here, and you will get an idea how these things we do the configurations. The beauty about the software we are using it, we can even configure the roaming kind of the system. Let's say with one SIM, with one network, we can connect the multiple PLMN SIM cards. That is the system we managed to achieve it. So these are the tools we are using, and to do this is how the end-to-end system works. We are using currently the AWS as an orchestrator, but these solutions can be deployed by the on-premises or a different method as depend on the user's requirement. I think for that, WebLab is a good option that on-premises and other solution is. So we take some help from them to learn some other things that how we can integrate some other verticals. And next slide, please. So within this journey, we realize that to manage this system end-to-end, we need some billing platform and some operation management tool. So for that one, we are using a company called MyCloud PSS that help us to manage the different verticals of this business. For example, it helps us to how to manage the lead. It helps us to configure the product offering, customer management, inventory management, franchising management, product and performance management, billing and revenue management. And they are also still working on the different part of the OSS part, like how to bring everything on network without touching physically by doing everything from cloud. So this is some of the verticals we are using of one of the company. And, next slide, please. So this is how how we provide our customers the feel that how they can check their data, how they can do their recharge, they can get all notifications regarding the different data consumption. The customers normally get the notifications on the 50% of the data of the plan they consume. Another notification they get on 90%, and the third one they get on the 100%. So this is also, we managed to have some system that we can guide our customer that, okay, these are the number of locations are covered, And these are the locations we are working on it. And here you can get our retailer and distributor network. So these are some screens of that system we are using it for our network, and is alive and working with. Currently, we are running a beta test, and we have approximately 250 users on our network, and the numbers are growing every day. So we are just working on it, that how we can make a way that it can be utilized by different parties like network as a service, and the other way we are working on different business models. Next slide, please. Challenge we right now having some challenges to how to handle it centrally, end-to-end remote configurations. Yes, for that Magma is working on the centralized configuration tools, but also we are trying to do some our own research, and we are trying to do some working with the Genie SES to configure some of the node we are using the TR069 protocol. So this is the tools we are in doing some testings and trying to integrate with the system, so we can manage it, even the node configurations on the remote, like let's say from the central sites. Next slide, please. Then also, if some of you are aware that in last meeting I was asked that how we can do some integrations with the IMS. So also then we get some reply from Mr. Phil that he engages with some concerned persons, and we are working with him. But we are also doing our own research, like if it can work with the open source IMS available in market. So normally the open source people are using, we are using Camilio as an open source IMS for testing right now, like just trying that if it can work with that. It is still not operational, but we are trying to make it operational. So this is how far we reach with the Magma. A real users, like is a real business case, like with the Magma that currently working on the Africa, let's say at least. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. And there were some challenges with your voice, but I'm pretty sure that everyone kind of understood what you really mentioned. It was really good to see the end-to-end journey that you have gone through, from getting the internet access through the VSAT all the way to the SIM management, as well as the infrastructure point of view, the mobile infrastructure to the transport and to the data center infrastructure. I'm also very clear message here of how to bring all these independent domain management and orchestration into a converged management and orchestration through number of tools and experiments that you're doing. So great presentation. Thanks for taking us through this journey. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm pretty confident that everyone in this session has also thoroughly enjoyed it. Thanks a lot, Bhavin, for your time. Please stay back for any questions toward the end of the session.
Sorry for the voice. Yes.
No worries. Happy to be working together as a community to help you guys. Moving on. So I would like to call upon Mr. Samir Chatterjee, Managing Director of Rebecca Technologies, to really help us understand his contribution towards what he is building in his company that can benefit the community. Samir, over to you.
Thank you very much, Kadir. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, hear you okay.
All right. Perfect. Thank you. I'm very glad to be a part of this session, and we are very excited about the partnership with Wave Labs to facilitate the adoption of the Magma code base into the community, and also help globally other vendors and operators to adopt the Magma code and then deploy it as they are getting released. So what we have done is we have just introduced a validation package for the Magma 5G core. It's for the community to take advantage of as they are deploying the core, and the releases are being made, and the pilot projects are being run. Obviously, we saw what Bhavin is doing with the 4G code base, and the 5G is getting started. So what we, as part of this package, what we are doing is we are able to give you an emulation for the UE and the G-Node-B. We're supporting N1, N2, and the N6 interface. And in this simulation of G-Node-Bs and UEs, you can distribute these G-Node-Bs across different parts of your network. So you can run UEs simultaneously, so you can test out different access gateways simultaneously through these different G-Node-Bs that you can kind of run in parallel and test out your access gateway as you are running. We can even help you with different types of traffic, whether it is data traffic or video. For video, we can even give you different resolution of video. And as you can see, you don't have to always go all the way to the internet. We have even server where you can source different traffic. So within your lab environment, you'll be able to deploy the 5G access gateway. You can have your UEs, G-Node-Bs, multiple G-Node-Bs, and the traffic. Thank you, Kadir. Yeah, please, the next slide. Yeah. So in the lab environment, as you're deploying this the code, the 5G code, one of the challenges that you have is you want to get down to the bits and bytes. So you run an test case, and then you want to be able to see the call flow in a ladder diagram, and then you want to be able to go into the SUT logs. But then the logs are usually thousands of lines. So what we do is we are able to use our AI engine and parse the SUT log and map it on the ladder diagram. So you don't have to actually go through the entire log. You can just go ahead and be looking at the logs where it failed or it got passed. You can look at the PCAPs. You don't have to go set filters in Wireshark and all that. They're already parsed and mapped on top of it. We also take a lot of these infrastructure and mobility KPIs, and then we map it on top. So as you run a particular test case, we look at different types of mobility statistics, latency, connection time, control plane, data plane, different traffic types. And then we tell you what kind of, on the infrastructure, what's the impact on CPU, memory. So it helps you kind of get an idea as you are in the lab and trying to get the product, the core deployed on different infrastructure, whether VM or container, how it's performing, if you're getting stuck, where you're getting stuck and all that. Can you go to the next slide, please? The analytic engine also helps in your live deployment, because in your live deployment, as opposed to the lab where you're getting into the bits and bytes, here you're kind of one level up. You want to look at the different KPIs, the KQIs at a very higher level and get an understanding of how the network is performing. So we have these different dashboards that gives you different kind of statistics in terms of what's working, what's not working. And then we have extensive REST support. So what that does, it's kind of makes it DevOps compatible. You know, everybody now is into trying to get this automation. Without automation, it's just impossible to support your deployment and test it and validate it. So the REST API support that we have allows you to get access to everything, starting from execution, getting data analysis and all that, which helps you with this continuous test assurance, which is extremely important. We would also give you ability to do synthetic traffic. So in your live network, can you go back one slide, please? So what you would be able to do is on your live network, you can run periodically synthetic traffic and capture different statistics that you're seeing towards the bottom of the screen. And then you can see how your network is performing, which part of the network in terms of your infrastructure, what's working, what's not working. And then in the middle of the screen, you can see the packet captures for different protocols. So next slide, Kadir.
Sure.
Thanks. In a nutshell, what we can do is we emulate all the 4G, 5G nodes, 3GPP nodes. So in the Magma, as they're making the releases, whatever you're deploying, we can emulate the balanced nodes, and then we can run the test cases. And then our test cases that we'll give you, one of the biggest challenge with the 3GPP is the extensive, knowledge that one requires in terms of writing these. And then you have to know the script language or something. Our test cases are English-like. So for the community is perfect because, you have different people coming in from different backgrounds. And these are very easy to understand. And there is a smart editor that helps you kind of edit it, modify it. And then, as I mentioned, with the Magma solution, where you will have these access gateway across, so you need an ability to simultaneously be able to, stress out the different access gateways deployed across the network, which we can do with this distributed eNode B, gNode B load simulation. Debugging, while you're trying to debug it, because of some of the analytics, the kind of samples that we showed you on the previous screen, it will help you understand where it is failing. And we give you a whole package of test cases. So you can just run it, you get an idea what's working, what's not, where it is failing. It's so you can get the KPIs, and then obviously, helps you in the root cause analysis. Next slide. So besides the 5G, we also have 4G, 5G NSA package. And here, obviously, the S1 interface and the SGI, that's what's getting emulated. If you're using just the access gateway, we can test out all this, the access gateway part. Next slide. If you're using the access gateway, with the federated gateway, the federated nodes, we can emulate them as well. Similarly, it's very well the interfaces that we support, and then again we have a 5G package, a 4G, 5G NSA, and it's kind of a zero touch. You run them, you see them, it helps you integrate. So hopefully the community is going to benefit out of it. And the deployments, more people would be adopting to the Magma code base. It's a great initiative, and we are very happy to be part of it. Thank you, Kadir, for inviting me.
Thank you, Samir. That was a top-notch presentation. Bhavin also, thanks for you both for putting together the presentation, taking time to really help us learn on the commercial projects that you're trying to do around the Magma. It really helps us, and that's one of the key objectives of having this meeting. So, those who have any questions to Samir and, Ullas and R&D team, as well as Bhavin, please feel free to share it in the chat. We'll be happy to take them and answer them. Phil, do you want to check on that? Let me quickly do this.
Yeah, I don't see anything in the chat, Cotter.
You don't see anything? Okay.
Nope.
Yeah, let me check this. All right, so as you can see, this meeting happens once in every month, and we are looking for, additional speakers, who are and the companies, right, as well as the community and commercial projects that if you're working on, and if you wanted to come and share the knowledge to the community members, please reach out to Phil and me. We'll be happy to support it. I got a couple of questions for Bhavin, right? So Bhavin, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, so the first question I have for you is, the Magma supports the metering, billing, and everything, right? So you could have just used Magma. Why to use the 6 scale, and what is the benefit that you're getting using the 6 scale?
You see, the challenges with the Magma metering system is it is not, we tried, but it didn't work for us. Maybe somehow we didn't manage it. But with the 6 scales, we have learned that it is because of their API's extensive support, it can connect with the further different domains. Like, okay, the Magma is also having API support, but somehow we learned that 6 scale can help us in the extending our project, the kind of the MNO kind of the setup. That's the reason we are using the Magma, the 6 scale to use for the billing purpose and the HSS purpose. Like OCS and PCRF function we are using from the OCS, 6 scale OCS.
Got it, understood. And does, the way I also look at it is maybe that will allow you to have an independent charging and billing system, right? So that you're not dependent on any core networks. I also see it in that way, but it's really good to know and hear from you. The other question I had is, in your journey, I saw there's so many open sources that you have been using and you're experimenting. So, not only Magma, right? I was looking at, you mentioned you're working with Camilio, right? Serra EMS, and working with Gens ACS, right? And you're working with some other additional open sources that you kind of mentioned there. So, bringing up, how has your experience has been bringing all these open sources together, as well as why to use so many different open sources? What's the reason behind?
You see, the idea was to we did a research, and we also did ask different commercial vendors which are available in the market. But the cost, the biggest cost was the cost. The cost of the core itself is way higher that we can even not think about to buy the let's say the radio equipment. So we decided there are many open source projects available, and it is almost like the level of it can be a commercialized way, like it can be really do it in a way. So we did it as an experiment, like, okay, let's try, because sometimes when you find the market is challenging and it's very difficult to sustain in the market of the, let's say, the internet business, because nowadays the ARPUs are really going down and the users' expectations is going high. So the challenge we was facing, like, let's say we provide the internet connecting to the UN peoples. So in UN, you will find the majority peoples are from the different foreign countries. And the environment they are coming from, they expecting that they get the similar kind of the speed and the connectivity in the Africa and especially in South Sudan. Day to day, the South Sudan is developing. When we started in the, let's say in 2015, that time was really very difficult. So the concept is that, due to the market demand, we learned that if we can go and try the open source, because here we have some trial and error kind of the possibilities. Like if we manage it well, it can be a roadmap, or it can be like a solution for maybe other countries or the other African countries to go with the open kind of platform selection.
Understood. Got it. Thank you. And Luis Carlos, you kind of mentioned in the chat Toledo, Saitro, provisioning and building ACA OCS. Do you want to share what do you mean to the community for the benefit of the community, please? Luis, are you there in the call? Quickly checking.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, please feel free to share, Luis, what you typed in the chat, please.
Sorry, I believe that the chat is used to a presentation for the people. Sorry if I commit some type of error.
No. I really wanted you to explain what is Toledo, Saitro, provisioning and billing. Yeah, feel free to please share it with the community. Yeah.
Okay. I'm new of the community. The Magna, it's a very, very, very beautiful, great solution. And my main solution and provision and the billing. It's my main product here. And but I live in Brazil. Okay.
Okay.
My company provide provision and the life cycle of the SIM cards. It's my main product. Okay. I work in the M2M and the IoT project only. I don't have here voice on the SMS or another type of the market. Okay, only data and the data. Okay, my idea and have here the core, the network core system to use it to gather my solution. Okay, my focus is smart car, smart cities, intelligent cars, and M2M project as well.
Understood. Thank you very much. Just a quick question for you. That's what this forum is all about, right? Have you integrated your product with Magma and tested it?
No. I'm new. I'm new for all.
Sure. That's a due. You should probably do that and help the community, and maybe come and present in our next session your experiences integrating with Magma and show it to the community.
Yeah, my idea is to have here laboratory and labs using Magna and base cells, smart cells, okay, and begin a little labs and to understand the power of the Magna. I believe it's a big, and to use and 4G network and 5G standalone.
It's really good, Louis. Feel free to reach out to the Magma community in the Slack channel. We'll be happy to support you with your.
Okay, thank you. Welcome.
Moving on, I also see that Stephen Warwick, you made a comment with respect to the 6 scale, providing the roaming capability to the network. That's an advantage, as I was led. So, Stephen Warwick, please feel free to share that comment to the community, please. If you're still there in the call.
Yeah, I am. I just wanted to get some clarity. Can you hear me?
Yeah, very well. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to get some clarity. My understanding right now is that the Magma 5G wasn't providing the roaming function. Is that correct? And why 6 scale was brought in to provide that as well?
So Stephen, I think the question about 6 scale is specific to what Bhavin and DishNet Africa did. As far as roaming natively within Magma, we can support inbound roaming, so roaming inbound on S8 from other networks, but outbound roaming based on our embedded subscriber management system is not supported today.
Yeah, that's maybe I'm using the wrong word for it.
Yeah.
What I'm talking about is the ability to move a UE from access point to access point and maintain connections at low latency.
So mobility or handoff.
Okay, yeah, that's a good word for it too.
Yeah. So was 6 scale related to what Bhavin presented, or how did they come into the discussion?
I was just wondering if that was how they supported the mobility problem.
I would have to let Bhavin address that.
Let me, if you allow me, I can provide some input.
Please do.
Yeah, we see the 6 scale is not that provide fully mobility. The concept is like to have a centralized billing and the centralized system. Like when it comes to mobility, currently what happened, like, we use the, as mentioned, like we use some bicells equipment that has that has the capability of X2, which is helping us to do the mobility between the different e-node bits currently. And the beauty about the Magma thing is like let's say if users goes from the one network to the another access gateway, it gets disconnected, but time is very small, so users will not feel that he disconnected and connected back.
Okay. So Bhavin, the way that I understand and interpret is that the 6 scale is you are using just for the reason of billing, right? Billing and revenue management. And for the roaming, you're doing a minimum roaming with the X2 interface that's between the eNode B to eNode B, but you're not actually doing the the complex handovers, right?
Yes, the complex handover is currently, yes, correct. Like complex handover is mentioned, like Magma, the thing is in development. So that is how we are managing. Like let's say if you go with the real user's experience, you will not realize if you go from one access gateway to another access gateway. Users will smoothly move from one to another.
Understood. Got it. But of course, when you wanted to really roam across the operators, then of course you can do it in multiple ways.
Then we need outbound, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what the question was. I think that Stephen was asking again, mobility function is not yet supported. Is that correct? And I believe, Phil, you answered the question, right? Roaming in is supported.
Mobility is supported within a gateway. It's mobility between AGW to AGW that is a challenge right now with Magma.
Understood. Got it. Okay, and there was a question for you, for Samir, if you're still there in the call. So in most of the cases, especially some cases the customers would like to buy the product for testing, and in some cases they just wanted to rent it and use it as a test as a service, right? So any inputs from your point of view, how the community can leverage your product to test out whatever that they are trying to do, either in 5G, 4G. Do you want to comment on that?
Yeah, I think both models are supported. We just specifically to enable this test as a service, we offer the rental model so that you can, as part of the rental model, you get the test cases. We have some service hours as well baked in as part of the rental model, where we will help you to integrate this to your network, help you write additional test cases. And as we roll out new test cases to support the 5G releases, you will automatically get them because you have the rental license. So it is completely a test as a service model. And obviously you can buy outright as well. That's always there.
Thanks, Samir. We have 4 minutes to go. I just wanted to open the floor, myself and Phil, to really get inputs from you. If you wanted to share any inputs as to what you would like to really see in our next monthly meeting and hear from us, we would be happy to organize. Just as a refresher, right? So we organize this meeting for 3 main key objectives. And the first objective is to provide the development update. And the second objective is to really learn from each other as a community what each of us are doing. As a good example today, we learned some from Samir, we learned a lot from Bhavin, right? Of course, also we learned a lot from Samir as well. Sorry, Samir, on that. So that's the second key objective. And the third key objective is to really come together and help each other, from the point of view of adoption as well as the acceleration of, individuals as well as the commercial and, community projects with Magma 5G, right? So those are the 3 key objectives that we have for this meeting. And within those objectives, if you believe that, you wanted to hear more from us, feel free to reach out to me and Phil, and also feel free to unmute and speak to us and let us know. And please join us in the Slack channel, and also reach out to us in, Phil and me in any means that you can. We'll be happy to support in all the activities that you're doing. So let me just open the floor for a couple of minutes for anyone to share any inputs. Also, please reach out if you wanted to speak, wanted to have a speaking opportunity for our next monthly call. Feel free to reach out to me and Phil as well. Okay, so clock starts now. Anyone wants to share any inputs? Phil? Doug? No?
No, thank you very much, Cotter, for running a very effective sharing session.
Thank you very much.
I think this was...
Thanks for all the effort that we put together, Phil. It wasn't easy, and also thanks to Bhavan and Samir. I'll actually give the honor to you, Phil, to say thank you and close the session.
I want to. Yeah, I want to say thank you to everyone who took time out of their busy day to join us today, and we're really excited about what's happening as Magma develops, and as we prepare to get the 5G capabilities publicly released. Should be a very exciting couple of months coming up. So thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Thanks, Cotter. Thanks, Phil.
Thank you. This was great.
It was an amazing session. Thank you. Bye.
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 Bye.